We're in the end game now, folks. Time to do my predictions for the main 10 categories. So I'm going to start with the best animated film lineup, which includes, well, I shouldn't say include, it's, the nominees are How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, I Lost My Body, Klaus, Missing Link, and Toy Story 4. So I think, obviously, again, in the order of preference, I think I Lost My Body was one of two nominees that I did see this year, well, last year. Toy Story, of course, being the other one, but I Lost My Body was probably one of the most disappointing animated films I've seen in a very long time. It's on Netflix, as is Klaus, funny enough, but I'll talk about Klaus in a minute. But I Lost My Body, it's a French film, centres on two stories that link, a young man and his severed hand, and it's quite a bizarre, story to it, but there was some promise. When I was watching it, it was a promising sort of concept. I was sort of quite intrigued, and then it just got to the ending, and it was just very hollow and depressing. And I just came out of it really sort of underwhelmed. So for me, that one would probably be the first one to get out the way in the predictions. Missing Link won the Golden Globe in this category last month, which was a big surprise to many. And it's actually worth knowing that one of the people involved with it is a Scouser. So in a way, I've sort of I'd like to sort of root for that one to win, but I don't think it will. The How to Train Your Dragon series, it's always had the misfortune of losing out against Disney in the past, because I remember the first film lost to Toy Story 3, and then the second film lost to Big Hero 6, which was a bit of a surprise to some at the time. But The Hidden World, I think it's just had them sort of the reviews for it were quite decent from what I read about. But I think again it's just had the misfortune of coming out against two, stronger contenders. Now it's quite funny with Toy Story 4 because I adored it. I thought it was just as good as the third film. Because I love the Toy Story series in general. I still think the third one's my favourite, but the fourth one was a lot of fun. And it had sort of the emotion to it as well. And that's the one I am sort of really rooting for. But I think, Netflix has its own secret weapon with Klaus. Klaus is a festive, Christmas-based film. And, Christmas has come and gone, as we all know. But the film's, surprisingly done quite well. It won a number of awards in what was called the animated Oscars, known as the Annies, and it did well there. And then it beat Toy Story to the BAFTA last week. So there is a chance that the Academy may just decide, well, we've been and done that with Toy Story, and I think they probably want a break from Pixar. So there is the temptation for them to go to Netflix this time. So I could see Klaus causing an upset, but like I've said with the original song category, it's like I think it will be like Rocketman v Harriet. I think it's going to be Toy Story or Klaus. My heart says Toy Story, my head says Klaus, but we'll wait and see. But Klaus is one of the films I wish I had seen recently, and I could watch it now if I would, but it's just Christmas has come and gone, folks. So I'll have to wait till next year to start watching it. So we come to the two screenplay categories. So start with originals. So we've got Sam Mendes and Christy Wilson Kearns for 1917, Ryan Johnson for Knives Out, Noah Baumbach for Marriage Story, Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Bong Joon-ho and Yin Won-han for Parasite. So I think this is going to be down to Parasite or Hollywood to win this one. I think the screenplays in this category are very strong, although 1917, it's again one of them like visual effects where I didn't think the screenplay was anything special. I think when you think there's like one or two films that could have been nominated there instead, like, Booksmart, which was a really good sort of underrated film that came out last year. But I think there's a chance that the Academy will go with Parasite. It's a very, they do like to reward foreign films in this category, and the script for that, it's just fantastic. As I've already, I've tried to explain to some people, it's a twisted satire, about culture clash between the rich and the poor. It's just very well written, and it's brilliant, and it's out this weekend, I believe. So I really hope that some of you do check it out eventually. I know some people can be reluctant to watch films with subtitles, but this one is definitely worth watching. And I mean, Tarantino's actually won 2 Oscars already for his writing for Pulp Fiction and Django Unchained. So I think, it's probably going to be one of them where he'll just be happy to be nominated. But Tarantino. He's never been the calmest. He's never been the sort of the most lenient person in the world. He'll want to win this one. Noah Baumbach, I thought his script for Marriage Story was brilliant, and that was a great film. I just think he's just facing strong competition. And Rian Johnson's script for Knives Out, I mean, it was a lot of fun, that film. And of course, as I mentioned today, it's officially getting a sequel, which is brilliant to hear. And he did, it was just a cracking script. Loads of brilliant, well written characters. So again, I think Knives Out, if it had a bit more love, it would have been a stronger contender. Adapted screenplay nominees, we've got Steven Zaillian for The Irishman, Taika Waititi for Jojo Rabbit, Todd Phillips and Scott Silver for Joker, Greta Gerwig for Little Women, and Anthony McCartan for The Two Popes. So, of course, over a month ago, The Irishman would have easily taken this award, and I still have high hopes that it will win. But I think Jojo Rabbit's come on strong in recent weeks. Taika won this category at the BAFTAs last week, and the script for Jojo was really good. It was a very good, it was a weird film, I'll say that, but it had the right blend of comedy and drama, wacky and surreal, and it was a really good film. But again, I mean, I think given the fact that she was snubbed in the Best Director category, I think Greta Gerwig might well stand a chance of winning this particular award. There may be the temptation for the voters to be like, well, sorry, we snubbed you for the director award, so we'll give you this honor instead. But I mean, it'd be nice for her to win, because she did a great job with the film Lady Bird, which came out a couple of years previously. And this particular version of Little Women, it's got it's the reviews, it's got over 90%, I think, on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's done really well for itself. But then I think the Joker script was brilliant as well, and even The Two Popes was well written. That was a very compelling film, and it's just, as I say, it's just a misfortune for it that it's up against a lot of strong candidates. So again, I think Jojo Rabbit will win this one, and then Little Women or The Irishman as the alternatives. So on to Best Director, we've got Bong Joon-ho for Parasite, Sam Mendes 1917, Todd Phillips for Joker, Martin Scorsese for The Irishman, and Quentin Tarantino for Hollywood. We'll just say Hollywood, I won't say the full name. So I mean, again, like a month ago, a lot of people would have thought, Marty versus Quentin, two legendary directors going head to head. But all of a sudden, it's come down to the Sam Mendes, who did actually win this category in 2000 for American Beauty. And, it's been a long time since he's had a film so successful. I know he did the Bond films in between, but, 1917 obviously was, definitely the big awards comeback for him. He's won a Golden Globe and he's won a BAFTA as well for his directing. So you'd probably say he's a strong favourite to take the award again. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if they go with the sort of the foreign option of Bong Joon-ho, because he did a marvellous job with Parasite. And there's just this growing sort of feeling that film could end up causing an upset on Sunday. So I'd be very happy with him winning. But I think if he wins original screenplay, that would probably be a better sort of a backup, as an alternative award, because he's also, from all his speeches and that, he seems to have gone down like a storm with everyone. Very popular. And we'll have to sort of wait and see what happens, but. Yeah, Quentin Tarantino is probably the dark horse, because he's never won Best Director. He's won Oscars for his screenplay, but he's never won Director. But like I said, it's just a strong year. And who'd have thought that the director of Old School and the Hangover trilogy would be nominated in this lineup? It's just crazy. So fair play to Todd Phillips. That's a good nomination for him.